Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another RGL.gg Invite Sixes cast. This is Season 5, Week 5B, GlobalClan Ice versus Froyotech. My name's Godfather. I am joined by Jarrett on comms once again. We got Dolphin behind the scenes as always. How you doing tonight, Jarrett?
Pretty good. Pretty excited for this match. It's going to be a little bit of a repeat of something that we've already seen, but that is okay because the last match we saw between these two teams was a very spicy one, very close and nice. 4-3 on Clear Cut, and hey, guess what? We're back on Clear Cut once again. That is the map that we are going to be playing tonight, and we are going to see if either of these teams have taken the weeks to kind of adapt, change their play, and refine some things to make sure that whoever wins, it's a little bit more dominant this time.
Of course, both these teams having a fantastic season so far. Froyotech 10-0, GlobalClan Ice 9-1. Their only loss to Froyo, as you mentioned earlier. And these two teams just plowing through a lot of the competition so far, only dropping a few rounds each. Definitely going to be a great match to watch tonight. I'm very excited.
Yep, a win here for Froyotech will not technically but realistically solidify them as the first seed, and a win from GlobalClan Ice would do the same in regards to making sure they're at least second and maybe even sending them in first, depending on what happens later on in the season. You can go ahead and put your match predictions for now, but one thing I think is pretty important is to probably go over the rosters for anyone who's jumping in mid-season, didn't really catch the very beginning of things to kind of figure out, who's on what. So I'll go over the classic Froyotech roster for right now. It is Eric and Slemnish on Scout, Blaze and Banny on Soldier, Habib on Demo, and Skis on Medic.
And for GlobalClan Ice tonight, I believe we're having bot mode subbing in on Flank Scout. We don't know if that's a permanent swap in quite yet. Brand Slam on Pocket, Laz Roamer, Ash on Pocket Soldier, Alex the Demo Man for the Medic, rounding off a great roster.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the one big difference in terms of, but like besides natural progression as teams getting better and maybe some counter strikes or anything. Bot mode on Scout instead of Yipe is going to be the big thing that we're going to see differently. It's not necessarily sure they're going to play like crazy differently because it's Scout on Clear Cut on a Koth map, and there's nothing really to it, to be honest. But there is maybe some slight things that might come into play when it comes to play style differences or like decision making that could make or break whether or not GCI is able to, do as well as it did last time. And who knows, maybe even it's enough to push things over the edge and net them to win this time. Only time will tell.
Exactly, and it will be a very interesting match to watch, I think. Any matchups that you're looking at early on tonight that are going to be, game changers that will make or break the situation tonight?
Honestly, a lot of the classes are really important. It's a Scout on Koth is really strong. Demo on Koth is really strong. You really want to make sure your medics are staying alive. I think if you really had to cherry pick one, I kind of want to look at the soldiers, mostly because there's a very stark like playstyle difference in what you can do on Clear Cut. Because there's you can sit back and spam or whatever, but it's also really easy to go behind on this map. So your performance as a soldier could be very impactful in that regard. Whereas some other Koth maps, like maybe Viaduct, which is in the staple Koth map forever, isn't as impactful. Like it's important to do a good job on that map, but it's much harder. But here you get a little bit of an easier time to get something done, I would say, in comparison. So it's kind of interesting to see the paths in which soldiers will take and the play styles that'll be adapted to win mid fights and put your team at the like a good spot at the very beginning, and making sure they're able to catch out really good Ubers. I would say it makes the not so good Ubers salvaged real well just from a un-Ubered soldier going in and making sure things are all right and you get the medic. So I will kind of want to look at the Blaze and Banny versus Laz and Ash matchup to kind of see who is going to tip the scales in their team's favor and start bringing things out well off for them in the first half.
Similar to that note, I'm going to be watching the Medic matchup, not in their head-to-head, but how well they are going to stay alive when faced with soldier bombs. It is always difficult. We got 4 really great soldiers on the map tonight, and staying alive will be difficult when sacks come in, forces are being found, and that'll be interesting. I think it'll really set the pace of the match, excuse me, if one medic is dying far more often than the other. Now, we did see GlobalClan Ice play a match last night. What changes do you think they need to make after getting a victory over Rebirth Esports, but not a very clean one, in order to take on Froyotech?
Oh, there's definitely a mindset differential when it comes to 5 CP and cost, so there's going to be a whole lot more of aggression happening and not a whole lot more stalemates in comparison to the previous night, so I'll have to see what happens there. Mid-fights were a thing that kind of plagued GCI in the previous match, but you're playing cost, so if you lose a mid-fight, you have a moment to salvage yourself and actually get something good going for your team in the 3-minute countdown compared to a 5 CP map where you're kind of immediately on your last if things go really, really poorly and a round is threatened in that regard. So one thing to think about, I guess, is that regard. So they get a little bit more leeway. I think things will be a little bit easier in terms of the setting that they're put in, but in terms of the actual matchup, playing Froyotech is, can be sort of daunting sometimes. So it's going to be a really tough thing for them to overcome. But we saw how close they were doing it last time, so they all need to do a little bit better than the previous, and they could come up on top this one.
We certainly do have two giants going against each other tonight. Mid-fights will be chaotic and very fun to watch. We do have teams readying up right now. I'm thinking this is going to be maybe a 5-3, 5-4 for 5-3, 5-2 for your tech. What are you thinking?
Oh, if only it could go to 5. Too bad Koth doesn't do that.
Oh, my bad. I'm thinking I'm thinking 5 CP. What's your prediction?
That's another important difference between the two matches. This one can't go to 5. I kind of agree, a little bit in towards what Chad is going. I think it's going to be somewhat similar in terms of closeness, but Froyotech ultimately coming up on top. But hey, who knows? These teams had many weeks to think about what happened in this match. Maybe you had some luck playing against scrim partners that had to play clear cut, and you got a little bit of extra practice before you came into this week and figured out that this was going to be the map that was going to be played. Maybe bot mode is the secret thing that GCI needed all along to make sure that their play was well enough to finally take down the juggernauts of Froyotech. But only time will tell. Both these teams will have a long road ahead of them, making sure that they not only get through the first half, but the second half, and maybe even a third half if things continue to go the way that we saw last time, where things were very, very close. However, we do not need to wait any further, as we are going live with this anticipated match, GCI versus Froyotech, the second showing on Clear Cut. Who will come out on top this time, and who will come out on top for the very first mid-fight? Godfather, why don't you go ahead and take this one away?
Thank you. Real quick, I'm going to amend my prediction to 4-2 Froyotech, but getting in onto this first mid-fight, we're going to see a pretty slow start so far. Not a lot happening. Grand Slam getting up onto roof. Laz maybe going in for a bomb here, as is Ash. Going to look for Habib. They're going to get very low. Laz is going to go down, but they do find Habib. Nice job by bot mode, cleaning up on that damage from the shack roof. Blaze getting very low. He'll get healed up a bit. Both medics building at about 70% right now, but even numbers, no demo for the side of Froyotech. This is going to make it harder for them. GCI knowing that, they're going to take some ground. Benny's going to jump in on a bomb here, trying to find 4-4. They're able to find him. No, Benny will go down, but 4-4 getting down to 11 health there, and he does go down!
The spam
Blaze
rocket
with a finding the cleanup kill. That's going to be big. Skis now 100%, and here comes the sack in. They're going to get the force. That's going to be big, but 3, now 4, 5 down from the side of GCI. Bot mode, the only one alive. He's going to look for anything in the poster and will go down. So a very clean mid-fight from the side of Froyotech, except for that force at the end. That was very fun to watch.
That spam at the end there really sealed the deal. Go in, Soldier Bomb, get damage on the medic. If 4-4 was able to live there and actually successfully get the pack, it could have been really good for GCI. Get a player advantage to continue on in this mid-fight, but nonetheless, now they're in a situation where they have to go ahead and try to retake this point that Froyo has, and they've already immediately lost Brand Slam trying to come up this slope with a 6v5, and it's a very daunting task, because if this goes on too long, the Uber's going to come into play. Skis is going to get if they wait too long, but they feel like they kind of have to. They're going to go ahead and go for a stack with Alex blowing out of the sky. The rest of the squad are going in, trying to get on the Skis, popping in the air. So low! Almost, but not quite. Skis, 20-ish HP, but hey, that's enough to live. Trying to wait for the pack, and he's going to be A-okay as long as he is living. So, Skis has his full Uber ready. 4-4, hung back a little bit. Going to have his, and it looks like once we get all situated here, we're going to have our first Uber exchange of the match, potentially.
Yeah, I like the idea they're going in for the sack, unable to find the medic kill. Tragic to see. We'll now see a different approach here from GCI. Coming on the other side, 4-4 getting very weak, down to 50 health. If a bomb comes in, that might be devastating. A soldier did go far for GCI. Here comes the Uber exchange onto point. Benny goes down to the back line, but Laz trades out to Eric on a 5k right now. Not a lot happening in this Uber. We'll see if there's any post-fight cleanup. Here comes Ash, getting a little bit of spam, looking for a skis damage, not finding a lot. Blaze is going to go to contest bot mode, but Ash is already in there to fight him off. not a lot happening. Point presence on there for GCI. They're going to be a 1v1 there. Brandslam finding, or excuse me, bot mode finding Eric, but Brandslam finding Habib, so 2 down for the side of Froyotech. Brandslam did trade out. Cap hasn't come through quite yet. That's GCI waiting for Brandslam to respawn before getting that cap in. A great play from them.
Yep, gotta make sure your players are not delayed, and I'm kind of surprised that GCI won this. Their Uber was kind of forced really early from, you know, really good spam from Froyotech, and it made the Uber exchange kind of not super crazy, but they won the post fight well enough to be able to have the point here and get ready for this incoming Skis potential Uber, depending on how long things go. It's only a little bit longer until both teams have. Trying to edge the point, but Slender's is going to die for it, so they only got half cap in turn for a scout kill, which is not super great. Last try to bomb in and create some space, so they get counter jump by Benny, has to back up for a pack. But a lot of damage onto the red soldiers. They need to go get health themselves. Trying to get onto the point. Eric's going to get dropped in the Uber. That's very unfortunate, just as Habib solo trying to get anything he can, but they're too far away. They're content on milking this GCI as they continue to hold the point presence and try to spam the way. Froyotech back down the slope. Habib trying to hold his ground, getting very low, weak, gonna get cleaned up by Bomba. Benny's trying to be getting the shotgun spam people the best he can, but he might get cleaned up. He's not careful. Blaze gonna go on. This is very abysmal for Froyotech. They're still trying to fight this, but they don't have an Uber, don't have players, and they have to back up on the slope, wait for their players, and try again another day.
4-4 holding on to this Uber. That's going to be big, but an unfortunate fight now for Froyotech as 1:55 on the clock for the side of GCI, 1:19 for Froyotech. Brandslam getting fairly weak right now. Things are going to settle down a bit. And we're going to see how Froyotech wants to push in here. Benny trying to go behind. He's going to go onto Brandslam. Not going to find anything. But now Blaze is behind him. Going to get destroyed by Ash, and now Laz is going to find Habib. No Uber popped out. A 3-man sack unsuccessful for the side of Froyotech. How is Froyo going to push into this next?
Well, they're trying to hold their ground a little bit with Eric scouting out, but it seems like it's going to be a forward hold. Eric getting caught a little bit, has to be kind of careful. Trying to go for Alex, drop to 9 HP, is going to live. A little bit of miscoordination in Froyotech for these past 15 seconds, and bot mode's going to go ahead and get Banny again. Going to die for it, though, which is not that great for the forward hold stake. So they're going to go ahead and back up and get ready for this incoming Uber exchange. He's ready to go. Have to wait for Banny to get up, though, probably. But looking like they're getting ready to buff up and get through one of these doorways.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to come in on the right side from the defending perspective.
God.
That's a huge drop. Ash finding the cleanup kill, and that's going to open everything up for GCI to hold on to this. Benny's going to jump in, try to get behind, find any damage onto Ash. He hits the air shot. Great job by him. Branslam's going to get cleaned up as well. Slemish and Blaze are going to trade out, however, from the opposite side. Uber does come in onto point. Cap time not enough, as Eric and Habib fall in the post-Uber, and Ski's the only one alive, back out to spawn. A very dominant fight from the side of GCI there.
The spam from both of these teams has been absolutely insane for like the past 5 minutes. It's making or breaking, or those aren't really words. It can make or break fights immediately before they even happen, and that's what we've seen so far. But Froyotech have a lot of cap time here, try to get this the rest of the way before the Ubers come into play, and they will succeed. Sacrifice a little bit of health though. Eric down to 2 HP. Habib's gonna fall. This is not good for the longevity of the fight. They're trying to clean up. He's weak from the right side. Ransom gonna clean up by some rocket spam, trying to get the rest of the point capped away and retake away. Well, Scout Fred helps Slem's gonna live, but Eric is gonna fall. So ultimately, 2 down for the side of Froyo. Blaze trying to hold his ground, knowing that Brandslam is not there, but ultimately not enough for them to deal with. And 4-4 has his Uber in play. Skis and friends have to try to get to this point and try to force the Uber, but also cap it at the same time.
Banny's going to try to come in. He's going to be forced out, actually. Not able to find anything. No pressure onto point quite yet. Slemish is going to jump on. We're going down to the last fight territory. Uber does come out, but no one's able to touch. I thought we were going to have a fight there, but no one from Froyotech got onto point. We're going to see an early 1-0 from the side of GCI.
It's rough. You want to get on point to cap, but you also need to run away from the Uber ad. It's a really tough situation, and it only can be quickened up, and if you play that really fast, but they just didn't have the players to do that at the right time, so a really easy cap going off. We're going to have to see how the mid-fight goes this time and see who reigns up on top.
Yeah, here we go. Coming on to the second mid, 1-0 from the side of GCI right now. Fairly slow once again. Brandslam taking that high ground again. Not a lot of spam being exchanged. Both teams fairly healthy, although the buffs are in favor of Froyo right now. Here comes a double bomb once again. It's going to be onto the medic. Are they able to find anything? No, Laz is going to die on it. There goes Ash. Slemish is going to get cleaned up by Alex, however. So 2 down in a very unhealthy red team right now. Skis did get fairly low on that bomb, but did not go down. And 4-4 is going to back out with the rest of GCI. We're going to see stabilization right now.
Didn't really hit the mark with a bomb. Couple whiffed rockets means you don't really get a whole lot from it. Lose 2, only really collect 1 is not good for the longevity of that mid-fight. But have the Uber in turn this time. Have to see if team is finally going to be able to walk through without getting completely screwed over by our early spam. Because you do see the spam starting to rain through a little bit early and put some damage onto the players. But as long as it's not 4-4, this should be relatively okay. Trying to work their way through to get onto the mid area so they can go ahead and pop into them. Gonna lose the Laz right off the bat, though. It's not good for them. But the Uber does come up. trying to come out onto the team, trying to get this force onto the beat. Maybe he'll pop to save his dome, but they completely disrespect it. You're not going to deal enough damage to kill my demo, says Skis, and both blue scouts are dead. Ash trying to come in and salvage, get anything, but only a little bit damage on the Blaze, who's going to eat an arrow and not die to Alex. That should have been a Blaze death. Skis is out of his mind right now, saving his players left and right, and so far, Froyotech going to hold their Uber, going to hold the point in 4-4. Only at 25% have to wait for your players, and got to make sure that you're able to get something good right now. A minute off the clock for Froyotech, and GCI need to do the best they can to flip the script, get this force, get something going for you so you don't have this giant deficit going forward into the rest of the round.
Yeah, a minute off the clock, as you said. Skis with the full Uber. Forvar's doing a good job building up here. I'm hoping to see Sack come in, try to get a force. It looks like Ash might be trying to go behind now. He'll get a little bit of damage onto the combo. Wait, Blaze is getting fairly low right now. Maybe going to go down to bot mode. We will see that happen now. Ash is traded out on the other side of things, but the Uber did get forced out. Skis using in here. Not a lot of damage to be had. They do take out Alex, but that's going to be about it. Maybe bot mode going down now. So 3 down for the side of GCI. Spawners are going to come in, but with a full Uber to work with. Minute 20 left on the clock for Froyotech. It's now or never for GCI to really get things moving again.
Yep, they gotta add, and they definitely need to use it to its fullest potential. If they don't retake this point after this push, things could spell really badly, because the 1 minute lead is gonna turn into a 2 minute lead if it takes too long. Trying to work their way up the slope and get some extra pressure. They know that Blaze wasn't really quite there to get a whole lot of early spam, so it should be really easy to walk up and at least get some positioning behind the point. Haven't pulled the trigger quite yet. Need to make sure they find the right timing and make sure they don't wait too long so they're able to actually get
Here comes the double bomb.
Skis is already alive at last, trying to go behind and catch him, but going the wrong way. Did not expect Skis to just stay on top of the high ground, dancing around the scout. He's not even gonna eat a little bit of the damage, but nothing quite yet. Silver trying to bomb in to try to collect Skis. They need this meta kill to make sure they own the point for the long term, but they're only dropping players themselves. Down 3 and only Blaze to call it, and that is not gonna be good for them long term. Bot mode dying inside the shed too. This is not good, and with Bandit going behind, this could be 4-4's death right here. The rest of the Froyotech team trying to go through, collect these two, because Vanny will fall, but he is okay as long as that medic dies. Laz is going to go ahead and go out. Froyotech are okay letting him go because they found their man, and now they have a full Uber ad to maintain this point, and they're even letting Vanny spawn, so it's going to be even harder for GCI to approach. 40 seconds left. You gotta want to get this cap time, but you also have to force them. This is a very, very sticky situation to be in.
Yeah, I don't really know how GCI is going to be thinking to break this. Maybe a bomb in early. He's holding on to that full Uber. That was just a terrible fight that GCI took earlier. Unable to find kills. Here comes the Uber from the side of Froyotech. They're going to take it aggressively, trying to find 4-4, and they will get 4-4. Vanny finding that kill. They do drop 2, but will have the heal advantage. Nobody really on point quite yet from the side of GCI. Now Ash is trying to take a fight, but he's got... Oh, they get 2 actually! That's going to be huge for the side of GCI. Now a scout trying to get in as well. Going to back off here as the cap's going to come through. 2:29 on the clock for GCI, and will be in overtime for Froyotech. Skis is going to go down! Ash finds a huge kill at the last moment there. Slime's just going to die for it as well. Cap's now going to start coming in for the side of GCI. A huge med kill to try to hold this off, but 2:30 on the clock. This is going to be very difficult for GCI.
That is exactly the play they needed, making sure that Froyotech had to stay on the opposite side of the map, could not leave, and when they tried to, they ate the spam and immediately died. But consistency is the key here. They can't lose the point anymore despite them owning it now. Have to hold that for a little over 2 minutes. They have an Uber ad that can come into play if Froyotech takes too long, but one successful play from Froyotech is all they really need to be able to get some good footing here. Early damage onto Eric, gonna have to go back for a pack. Fake bombs coming in from Laz to try to distract a little bit, and he'll go collect some health in turn. Blaze taking a lot of damage himself as well, and gonna have to maybe ask for an air or go for a pack to make sure they're a-okay here, but 4-4 go ahead and putting himself inside the bunker for this upcoming sack attempt that they expect. Solar Bomb coming in, trying to go into the back door, trying to get at these players that are not inside the bunker because they're the easy one to kills. Traps going off onto Slemnish Last, trying to initiate onto the point to block this point. Habib going straight in, trying to go for a miracle play, but not able to find the mark. And ultimately, as long as Last doesn't die, this is a pretty good spot for GCI to be in. They successfully held, at least for now, and trying to go into a forward hold is a very, very good spot for them to make sure that this spam game that we've been playing continues up.
Yeah, a great job holding on to that point there by GCI. They do have that full Uber, but now Skis also has built up in that time. Habib's now looking on the side to get a little bit of spam in onto bot mode, not finding a lot right now. I like this forward hold idea from the side of GCI, not letting Froyotech take any ground. They're known for taking it, not giving up any. Now GCI is going to back off the point. 50 seconds left on the clock. We're going to see how this next fight plays out. both teams with even Uber. Maybe a Banny Bomb trying to come in here. Only time will tell. It's now Skis is walking forward with the Scout. We see maybe an Uber exchange. Here comes the Uber. Trying to get onto Alex early. The Uber will be popped out on the other side of things. Not a lot of frags being found quite yet. Banny gets forced out here a little bit. Alex is on point, holding that down. Blaze up in the sky. Might crater here, and he does. Now Banny's going to get very weak, so no soldiers for the side of Froyotech right now. Not a lot else happening. Healthy players from the side of blue, except Laz is now going to get taken out by Eric on the flank. Is anything else going to go down? No, it's just Eric. Has 3 down for the side of red. Ash fairly low, but he's going to get healed up, as is Branslam, I imagine, on the flank here now. Alex gets down to about 50 health as there's pressure onto point from the side of Froyotech. We're going to see 404 needs to push in here. Or sorry, excuse me, Froyotech needs to push in here, not 404. We're going to see 10 seconds left on the clock. What's the play here?
Trying to go in to get extra point time, you need to make sure you get onto it best you can, but you don't want to sacrifice your health too much. But it is going to be enough. They're able to collect that cap, and GCI were not able to apply enough pressure in spam to make sure they were kills that could be gotten. And that will be a very, very close round, but one that goes to Froyotech. We got a tie game here now. One more round will lead us into the half. The question is who will take the mid to get the start of the timer?
And here we go on to mid number 3. Looks like a very spammy game so far. 4-4 getting very low early on this mid fight. He will get a pack and heal on up. Alex right now at 9 health. Is he going to go down? No, with an arrow and some heals from his medic. Great job there by 4-4 finding that arrow at the key moment. Ski's staying alive right now fairly well. He's building slightly faster now. Laz trying to take some high ground, get some damage onto B. Not a lot happening. No frags quite yet on this third mid of the half. Yeah, both teams are going to stabilize
coming in.
Laz is going to try to go in. They do find Habib, but they lose 2 for it. They find Blaze in the last second. Bot mode going to go down as well. No damage onto Skis, who now has full Uber. 3 down for the side of GCI. Both meds with Uber. No cap time has come in quite, or no cap has been secured quite yet, excuse me, although there's time for blue. Froyotech looks like they're going to cap this one out, though.
Yeah, pretty close mid. Only one crucial mistake in putting someone a little bit too far forward means the player trade goes not in the favor of GCI. At least they still have their Uber though, so they can try to go through one of these doors and get a good Uber exchange going off. Have to be careful of the spam. 4-4, a little bit hurt, but ultimately okay. And it looks like the Uber might get pulled.
15 health!
Oh no, Uber will finally go off, trying to get onto the Skis and get an early pop. They will get someone, not without expending Ash in turn. Being down a soldier is very not good for this, and they're going to go ahead and back up a little bit, knowing that they're down 1. Trying to get a little bit of extra presence and get some heals up. Things didn't go too well for them on their entry, and they're still trying to play despite being down 1. A lot of early spam and good spam onto Blaze and Habib. Make sure they can't play too aggressive. Blaze has to go for a pack and can't even get an arrow because of the pressure they're applying onto him.
Force 50!
Yeah, they're still maintaining themselves a little bit. They have to be careful with their medic's health. If it gets too low, it could trigger a bomb from Blaze or Banny here. Speaking of Blaze, getting very, very low himself. Does not seem like the red soldiers are getting any luck to pull any sort of trigger to make sure they can hold on to this point. And another person will fall in the form of Slemnish. So this is pretty much all she wrote as Blaze goes for a hero bomb when he will actually back up.
Ash is behind, trying to get onto the medic. Is he able to find anything? They get
the collapse!
That's huge! A big collapse there from the soldiers of GCI, and they get a full team wipe. After a beautiful fight, Ash is going to respawn, Cap will come through.
The small indecision just kills them with the slope. They could have backed up, but they waited and maybe they saw something that just led them get the opening to go ahead and collapse and wipe all of them there. So decent after 4-4, probably going to head up into the bunker as soon as he gets, and Froyotech going to have to do the best they can to try to force it.
Yeah, we might see a soldier jumping in onto him soon, but only time will tell. It's been a lot of spam going in onto 4-4 throughout this. We'll see if he is forced out just by sheer spam. But yeah, side of Froyotech is going to take a little bit of positioning, trying to come up this right side. Here comes a soldier jumping up, getting a little bit of spam onto bot mode. He's going to go down to about 50 health before I imagine finding a pack, getting healed up there. Now there's a soldier taking a 1v1 versus Branslam. Bandy's going to go down though. Now Branslam going down as well. 2 down for each side as Sackblaze coming in. Habib's very low right now. Not a lot of damage onto the medic though. Laz up in the air, going to take a fight against Blaze. Going to live though. Very slow fight, allowing Skis to build up his Uber right now. Pressure onto point from the side of Froyotech. Alex is going to do his best to stop that.
No blue scouts.
Yeah, no
Kinda
blue
rough.
scouts.
can't really hold out point too easy if you don't have a scout to actually chase. Makes sense why they didn't even want to use that Uber, because they knew they probably wouldn't even catch anything. So pretty much got to concede the point, maintains the spam, and actually going for a play right now, trying to go for some sort of force or flank or anything, but the Uber change will actually come out, trying to go on to Benny and get any sort of kill you can, but he will get the flash at the last second, so ultimately it's not going to be too well for them. Both teams down one scout, but Laz is behind to be able to go for some sort of collapse play. They think they do know of his existence, and it's going to leave Habib out in the dust, trying to make sure they watch for Laz, but he's going to go straight into him. That's very, very unfortunate for his size, but great from Laz, and they're actually going to use the distraction a little bit to make sure they get this point and only lose him in return. So ultimately, despite things being a little bit rough, I think GCI ultimately made the correct play. Forgive the point, just get the scouts, get the Uber, and go ahead and get ready for this upcoming fight.
Oh, Ash with a beautiful jump onto Blaze, but he will die for it. Now we're going to see Benny very low. He's going to be found by a scout. That's Branson finding that kill. Eric on this flank right now. He'll find a health kit and back off to his medic, get some heals. One down for each side. Pressure onto point coming in from the side of Froyotech. Down their soldier right now, missing on that spam. But it looks like GCI is going to be winning the spam battle and forcing Froyotech to back off and regroup here. Both meds with full Uber. We might be seeing a Froyotech Uber coming in here soon. A little bit of spam, and here comes the Uber. It's going to be onto Banny and Slem, it looks like, but 404 is going to pop back immediately, flashing bot mode as well, keeping him alive. Good job there. And bot mode's going to actually go down late. Skis is now being jugged a bit. He's going to eat a little bit of spam, going down to about half. If a soldier bomb comes in, that it might be enough to kill him. Laz getting very weak before finding a pack, I believe. 404 at about half health as well. Cap time in favor of Froyotech. Benny goes down, Ash goes down, and Eric goes down. 2 down for each side. A lot of spam from GCI is keeping Froyotech at bay so far, as they are unable to cap this point. 30 seconds left on the clock for GCI. We're going to see Skis out building 404 a little bit. We don't know if that's going to play a role quite yet, but the cap time looks like it's going to go in for Froyotech very soon.
They're staying here despite having no soldiers. Ash pulling out, Laz still dead. This could be very bad for them if they're not too careful, but it actually looks like they're going to kill Banny instead. You're losing a 60 to a Froyo. Come on. You have to just get your Uber in time to get ready to go. 20 ad. Are you going to use it is the question. They have maintained control at this point, but with this play ad, GCI might try to go ahead and pull the trigger and maintain this cap. Bot mode getting in really deep onto the enemy shed. It's going to get chased a little bit. Slem's going to fall a little bit too deep and actually die. Things are crawling for Froyotech. They have this Uber and it will finally go up, but they're down 3. This is very not good for them. Ultimately, you have to do the best they can to make sure they can live for this post-Uber. Certainly, we'll see some sort of collapse, and here it is. Habib going down, only 3 people left alive. Trying to get some extra spam, not going too deep because they're hurt themselves, and Ash, a little bit careless with his falling off and gonna accidentally kill himself, which is a bit unfortunate. But could be good for Froyotech. No soldier for the side of blue team gonna be missing, and it could be the thing they need to make sure they recap this point.
Here comes the last fight. Benny taking some high ground with Eric, trying to get in onto 404, going to be a little bit of damage. Bot mode going down to Eric. Now Benny jumping in, is he able to find 404? Doesn't look like it, but he will pick up Ranslam trading out there. Overtime for the side of GCI. They're going to regroup. 38 seconds on the clock for Froyotech. We're going to see a bit of a stabilization here. 404, about a 10% Uber advantage over Skis right now. Now we're going to see a 3-man sack coming in onto Skis and able to find him. He's very weak, and they get him. That was a huge air shot. Skis tried to surf out a 3-man sack, doing well so far. 30 seconds on the clock, 100% Uber. Skis saying nice shot in chat, and that's going to set things up here for GCI to recontest and maybe take this round.
Walls are a soldier's best friend, and that means Skis is in the grave, and 404 has this full Uber ad to get ready to walk up the slope with his team and try to do their best to take control over this point. Have to be careful.
Here we go.
Gotta make sure there's as perfect as possible. Trying to get some extra pressure on
Blaze
the shoulder.
goes down!
Blaze goes down. Eric's behind them, might get some sort of flank to cause a little bit of a ruckus until the point, but the Uber will go off. Trying to make sure you flash as many people as you can. Eric will go down, Slim goes down, Habib goes down, and this might be all
Benny's waiting.
trying to go onto the point, but it's not gonna be enough. Too many people have fallen. And ultimately, a pretty nice play from GCI in the last 30 seconds of the game. Flip things in their favor, make sure they get this medic kill, and ultimately, they're taking the lead in the half right now.
Yeah, this has been a very fun game to watch so far tonight. GCI, the round they lost was very close, going into double overtime, I believe. Lots of global domination in chat, and it's looking good for them here. We're going to take a quick look at logs, but what are you looking at, even not looking at logs about that half?
For this besides logs, I'm looking at when a team shows a weakness, how are you able to execute and actually being able to take advantage of that weakness? And so far, it feels like GCI is slightly more consistent. Whenever GCI has a weakness and Froyotech tries to take advantage of it, so far it hasn't been quite as successful as GCI. Although this is a very close match, so we're talking about margins that are not too crazy, but when you think about it, this is a lead that could make or break the match, seeing as last time these two teams played, It was by 1 point. Taking a look a little bit at the logs here, we definitely have Alex.exe pulling his weight
huge.
for sure. 411 DPM, definitely pulling out all the stops, and Batmo doing a good job of cleaning up. Eric on the other side also doing a good job at cleaning up. And Habib putting out some damage as well, but no one really hitting the 300 DPM mark on the side of Froyotech, whereas GlobalClan Ice have two almost, well, I guess if you say almost three of them, you have to kind of count Habib, so I'll just say two of them. So, but so far, seems like they're doing a pretty good job. But the question is will it continue? You have this halftime to think about what you want to change, things you want to tweak a little bit to make sure things can go in your favor, and even some super small things can definitely make the difference. This second half we watched went into double overtime. That makes or breaks a complete round, depending on one small little change, one missed rocket, one misplay that didn't go quite well for your team. So every little thing counts, and the question is will your plan that you have in this halftime to swing things further in your favor or make them start being in your favor be enough, and will the other team be able to deal with your new plan? If you even have a new plan, do you think you need a new plan? Question is what will they do?
Yeah, a lot of small things to adjust, as you mentioned. What I'm looking at here in these logs is the soldiers from GCI, Ash and Laz, able to pick up 3 and 2 medic kills respectively. Eric, Blaze, and Banley only have 1 each. That's, I think, one of the leading causes to Froyotech not being able to get in and really winning these rounds. Skis is dying more than 404, who's doing a great job staying alive. I think that's going to be the story if the soldier pressure and domination from GlobalClan is going to keep up here. That will probably spell doom now for Froyotech.
Yeah, one thing I kind of been noticing later on is we have a little bit of a difference in the heal spread in terms of play styles. GCI is definitely doing more of a let's just tank our demo until the ends of the earth, and Froyotech is definitely just doing the cookie cutter. We'll heal our demo, sure, but most of the heals are going to go to our scout. And either can really work, honestly, but if you think about how you want to shut down the opposing team member that is doing the most for their team, it's pretty much cut and dry that if you want to make sure that GCI isn't doing well, if you're Froyotech, it's definitely to make sure that Alex can't get 400 DPM, and if he's going to get tanked with 371 heals per minute, that maybe you just kill the other people instead. I mean, that's the big thing here. You have a couple different avenues in terms of trying to figure out how you want to adapt your play style if you're a team in general. And if you're Froyotech looking at GCI, you see that Alex is going crazy. You have two options: either just kill him outright, or you can look at the heals and see he's being tanked and be like, oh, if he's being healed so much, maybe other people aren't being healed, and just you kill everyone else instead. Got a couple different avenues to take, and that's why I keep saying it really depends on the teams and what they think is best, what fits their playstyle. Little things you notice about teams in particular to adjust, and what you think will work best against them.
Yeah, lots of options here. We did see Froyotech readying up. Definitely a fun game to watch so far. I'm definitely enjoying myself. As yeah, 2-1 half, looking good for GCI. I'm risking all my channel points, which is of course what everyone cares about here. Yeah, I'm just really enjoying myself. How about you?
I'm pretty well excited. This looks like it's going to be at least somewhat of a repeat of the last match that we saw between these two teams, which are pretty close. It's pretty close right now, hoping this isn't a caster's curse and all of a sudden things swing and the next half isn't super exciting or anything like that. But one thing I want to point out while we still have the stats on the screen is one thing that was talked about at least briefly was the big difference between then and now, besides teams improving, was the roster change. You had Yite previously and you have Botmo now, and he's definitely pulling his weight, at least so far the stats say. But the big question is what will happen in the second half as we are going live between these two teams. It's 2-1 right now. The question is will it stay as close as it was, or will things topple in one of the team's favors? Godfather, why don't you go ahead and take us away for this mid-fight?
Coming in onto this fourth mid 2-1, as you mentioned, we're going to see Brenson getting that early high ground that we've seen time and time again. Maybe a soldier bump opportunity from the side of GCI on that flank right now. We'll see if he decides to commit here. Now Blaze up in the skybox. I think he's just jumping out, actually, as bot mode and flank soldiers are going to get pretty aggressive. Maybe a fight on roof of Shack right now against Blaze, but very slow and methodical so far after this half. Branson's going to be the first death, going down to Habib. Not a lot else being found, though, as both meds are about 100%. 4-4 building slightly faster tonight. Here comes a double bomb from the soldier. They get skis. Excuse me, I don't even know who I was going to say. 3 go down, 4 go down, actually, on that sack for GCI, but finding skis with 96% Uber. unable to build as fast, and that spelled his doom. A beautiful and very coordinated bomb from the side of GCI there.
That's a good play. Notice things go south. Brand Slam dies to trap on point. You know you're not going to win this mid-long term. Screw it. Just go for a sack instead. 4-4 living with 100%, and Ski's getting Goomba scomped. Can't surf if there's a dude on your head, and now 4-4 has this Uberad to work into the rest of the point with his team. Trying to play early spam on the Blaze, make sure he's knocked back. Everyone can get on the point as well as they can. Vanny inside the hut trying to pressure that the best he can, as well as Habib spam raining down. Soldier Spam going back and forth. Blaze have to back up a little bit to make sure he gets a pack, and so far the trigger has not yet been pulled. Ski is very, very low, 70 HP. Has to be careful with this retreat depending on when they decide to go in, but it seems it's going to be a spam war for now. 50% on Ski, so the Uber won't come into play for Froyotech quite yet, but it seems like slow and steady wins the race when it comes to this retake. Didn't want to pull the trigger too quickly, and it seems like that's ultimately going to be the best play for them, at least for now. The silver lining of Froyotech right now, though, is they have this Uber ready to go in only a couple seconds at 75 and counting, and I'm sure they won't do an honest approach until they actually get it to get ready for an Uber exchange on the point.
Yeah, and it's just a spam war right now. Ski's almost there. He's at 98. He'll have for sure right now. Doing a great job building, 40 seconds, I believe, on that build. Blaze up in the skybox. Oh, just dodging an air shot. He'll get very low before going down. Here comes the Uber from the side of Froyotech. 404 is going to pop back as not a lot of kills being found in it. We're going to see a bit of a collapse coming in, perhaps, from the side of GCI. Ash getting healed up a bit. Here comes Benny and Blaze, both getting onto roof. Going to spam out 404 a little bit, but he won't go down. Cap coming in for the side of Froyotech so far. Times 4 on point. Not a lot of kills, but the health is definitely in favor of Froyotech right now as bot mode and Laz both go down. Ash getting healed up. Habib did trade out for that. That will be big in terms of the spam difference. But things are stabilizing a bit here. Cap has not yet come through. 150 on the clock for GCI, and there goes the cap.
Yep, a little bit of a war attrition, but ultimately taken by Froyotech. Get 2 kills, even though you lose your demo, is ultimately good, because it's going to take a bit for Laz and bot mode to spawn. Only just spawn right now, rolling out, so things are going to slow down a little bit and not really going to do a whole lot of spam. Got to wait for your team to get there, and honestly, that's bought enough time where this isn't really going to be a dry fight. It's going to be more of an Uber exchange that comes right after a dry fight. Teams are starting to post up and get ready to throw some spam across the point. Vanny still inside the shed, as always, going to make sure he's ready for any thing that goes onto the point. But Alex immediately dying from a pipe across the map is not that good for the side of GCI. Uber going to come out and try to pull the trigger, try to go on a Vanny, at least get some sort of kill, but Skis milking the Uber has no threat to him, trying to have Brand Slam go and just die for Habib, will ultimately not be able to put in enough damage. Batman trying to salvage as well on a Blaze, but not getting anything as well. So ultimately, this is not going to be what they wanted. Down 2 scouts. Ski still has this Uber, not the play you want to see. Down a demo, down scouts, and ultimately, this is going to be a little bit rough for them. Froyotech are in the lead right now in time, and the question is, will they be able to successfully get this force? Skis is in the bunker, nice and tidy, and we'll see if the soldier bomb will be enough.
Yeah, a really, really tough play there from GCI. Unable to find anything. Here comes Ash jumping in. Trying to find Eric, I think. It looks like bot mode and Ash together are going to clean him up. Laz and Alex, though, both going to go down. That is not good for the side of GCI. He's got very low and was forced out there. Then we'll find bot mode and Ash in the post-Uber fight. 404 now. Going to have a big Uber advantage, but 40 seconds left on the clock for the side of Froyotech. So you find the force, but you lose a lot of players, and you're unable to push for another at least 10 seconds here. Not a great situation.
Yep, don't have a whole lot of time to work with, but at least you have an Uber ad trying to work your way up the slope, I would imagine, is the route they're going to go. Got a lot of early pressure from the soldiers sitting on top of the shed, but they will immediately be zoomed back a little bit. Eric going to sit back and get ready for Laz to maybe go behind as the trigger gets pulled for a potential Uber to go straight into Skis. Last time it wasn't immediately pulled, though. Botmo going to die to a trap. That's going to be kind of careful for them to work with. 4-4 also eating a little bit of spam. Things are not looking too good. Eric trying to go ahead and go on to Laz, but immediately counter jumps. And that is another trade of kills back in the form of GCI having some form of advantage to work with. Have to make sure you're not too hasty with this Uber, though. Trying to go immediately. Alice get on top of the roof, immediately cleaned up by Blaze. Did not seem like they were on the same page there. 4-4 not ready to flash him whatsoever. And being down a demo and a soldier here is not that great. You're probably going to have to wait for them to spawn, and that just lets Vanny and Habib spawn in turn. So overtime for Froyotech, they have this Uber ad. Despite GCI holding the point right now, things do not look too good for them.
Yeah, overtime situation is not what you want to be up against for GCI right now. And it's really Froyotech's opportunity to push in and reassert dominance here. It is 2-1 in favor of GCI after that halftime. But now here comes Manny. The Uber does get popped out. Both soldiers going to go very deep behind, and the Demo's going to try to clean up. It's going to be a pincher move, and they get 4-4 as Slemish finds 2. Getting 4-4 into Alex. Bransom going down as well. Eric and Habib do trade out, but
they traded sides.
Oh yeah, overtime situation.
Bot mode AFK. Hello?
Yeah.
Bot mode?
I thought we might be in a pause, and then bot mode disconnects.
Well, that's gonna be all she wrote.
No
it's a 2v4.
What's this? This is a very hectic situation. I don't know why the pause hasn't come in. Benny's gonna die, but point goes to Froyotech.
Lost potential. It was short though. He's already back in. He was out and then he's already back in as the round goes, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be anything we're going to have to worry about long term, but kind of unfortunate. It meant that was really all she wrote. 2v4 can't be won. Maybe if it was a 3v4 you could add some miracle play, but either way, a round is a round going to Froyotech. We'll have to see how the spam goes for the very beginning of the mid. A lot of damage on the Froyotech side. Have to make sure they're doing a good job at healing up here. GCI taking presence on the point. Alex trying to spam the roof best he can. Not really hitting anything on the blades, but Eric's going to take damage himself, and it seems like GCI so far is taking the lead, but things aren't necessarily going all in their favor quite yet. Steve's rockets back and forth and trying to make sure that Froyotech is still in this. Blades to take a lot of damage though. Has to make sure he's aired up. EV in turn getting very low. Has to make sure he's not bombed or anything like that, but it seems like the trigger will not get pulled by GCI yet. Not quite enough for them to want to go on. Trading spam still happening, a little bit slow pace, but Blaze will have to go back a little bit. One soldier out of the fight, at least for now. The question is, will it be enough for them to get on the point and start to apply pressure? Ubers are coming into play potentially. That's trying to go behind, gonna get stuff a little bit. Gonna lose 2, which is not good for the side of GCI. Bottom might fall as well, and that will be enough for Froyotech to make sure that they win this mid fight and start the round with time on the clock for their side.
Yeah, even Uber situation coming to this next fight, but that was just, I think, a lack of coordination from the side of GCI. Froyotech is going to put 4 players onto roof right now down to 3 as Scout did jump off, but an interesting forward hold-ish situation, getting early spam in, and they find the Laz with the trap. That's going to slow things down for GCI as they try to recontest here, and a lot of spam going towards GCI right now. Laz respawning now. Cap's going to start coming in from GCI as Froyotech's going to back out. With the exception of the soldiers who are going to try to jump back in and get a little bit of spam in. Going to jump onto Ash, it looks like, on roof, not finding a kill there yet. As things going slow and steady.
Uber will finally go out. Their health is not that great, so they have to make sure they're not able to accidentally lose one in the middle of this. Have to make sure that they are very, very careful here, and it seems like Cap will go in the favor of GCI for this post-Uber. So ultimately, good play for them playing the War of Attrition, but Froyotech are not quite out of it yet. So Bomb trying to go in on Laz, and they will collect that air shot. Vanny will, and that will apply pressure for the Scouts to get forward off the distraction play. So far, 1-for-1 trade, and a lot of cap time for the side of Froyotech, and they could use the player ad if this fight goes on long enough, but I'm sure GCI will want to make sure this ends as quickly as possible. Trying to pull the trigger and collect this early play, so it was a little bit of a distraction for Alex.exe to walk forward, not quite hitting the mark so far though, as 2 will fall on the side of GCI, and so far this is not that great for the longevity of them holding this point, and so far I think they've realized that this is not something they can really win. Go ahead and back up a little bit and probably let Froyotech take this cap as they are down 2.
Yeah, that's going to let their Spot Mode and Ash both respawn here. Now it's going to be a sack trying to get in. There goes Laz dying, and Alex is going to follow suit. Not a great bomb as Ash is going to die late as well. Trying to get that sack in. 150 on the clock for Froyotech, 223 for GCI, and now we're going to see a Froyo forward hold coming in here.
Last time was GCI, this time Froyotech. We'll have to see if they do it any differently and leave when things go a little bit rough. But Blaze taking a lot of early damage, not able to apply some extra pressure, and the trap doesn't really do anything. So immediately just busting through and getting tons of damage onto Slemnish. He has to go ahead and back up. Bomb coming last, trying to see if he can catch the demo. He will trade for him. Good play from him, and they're continuing to apply pressure and make Froyotech back up all the way. One fell swoop to the other side of the map. To do this Uber in play, though, they could try to go for it and do some sort of play, but they don't have the demo, so it's kind of a sticky situation to be in. Uber will finally come out. Yeah, onto the side of 4-4. He will pop and save his players. So far, their health is pretty okay. Blaze a little weak. Eric a little weak. So have to be careful with this post-Uber. A lot of dominance on the side of GCI, but they're in this trench. It's a little bit sticky situation to be in. A lot of damage onto them.
Please! Yes, he gets him in the end. 4-4 very low, though. He has to stay alive. No! It's going to be a bomb coming in by Habib. Both medics going to die. 2 men alive for each team. 50 seconds left on the clock. Who's going to die first? Slemish is going to go down, but Alex is going to trade out. It's a 1v1 situation, and Bot Mode's going to win it. And yeah, Habib's gonna go down. Cap now gonna come in just a moment from GCI, waiting for Alex to respawn here. That'll be everybody respawning soon now.
Yeah, a little bit too deep on their side to make sure they collect people in the trench, but ultimately it was enough to make sure they maintained this point. Only difference is their ad is only going to be about 20% instead of something super substantial. So Froyotech are still kind of in this, especially because the time is in their favor still. GCR has a long way to go, and that kill is definitely going to be good for them for the longevity of holding at this point. Spain continuing to rain off. Froyotech do not want to leave quite yet. They're sure that they can get something going, at least good for them, even though despite being down a soldier. Benny trying to bomb forward a little bit and apply some extra pressure for his team, getting back by the hut. Branson very weak, 30 HP getting tanked, but Habib has to be careful. He's a little bit left alone. Skis is a little bit safe, making sure that he knows about this disad, but it will not be in play. 404 will go ahead and sit, let the other team get their Uber, and now Ubers are finally coming into play.
Yeah, and with full Ubers, Skis, I believe, is going to use this early, and now GCS is going to pop back, not able to find anything on the Uber.
Oh,
No,
the
Ash
damage.
is going to go down, and Eric's going to trade out bot mode, now finding his device as well. Alex got fairly low there. Laz is low as well. Branson's going to die late to Blaze, I believe, finding that domination. Now it's just a collapse from Froyotech. 404 is going to be getting out. 5 men down for GCI. Not looking great for them. Froyotech's definitely looking more dominant at this point.
Yeah, that was a beautiful post Uber from Blaze. He just came in and collected 2 kills that were from very weak players in the Uber. So good play for him, making sure those kills were secured immediately, and the post Uber didn't really have a chance to happen for the side of GCI. They have a chance to walk in now, but losing one is not going to bode well for them. They have to play this fast because otherwise the Uber will come into play, but they don't really want to play it fast because of down one, so it's just a terrible situation to be in. Alex getting a little bit going to get healed up as Froyotech going to play this safe, make sure they get the Uber. It's okay if you guys cap a little bit. We just want to make sure that we don't accidentally lose too many people. So GCI, notice that, get on the point, but the Uber will finally pop. Maybe trying to bomb in, trying to get on to Brian Sam. Not quite kill collected yet, but it will happen. Ash falling as well, and Alex.exe. Ultimately, a very good play for them in overtime. Bot mode has to just try to go in with the rest of his team and do the best they can.
4-4's gonna go
killed,
down.
but it probably will not be enough. 2 left alive versus 5 is not something that is normally won very easily in Froyotech. Taking this round, and now we're reaching match point. Froyotech in the lead right now, 3-2.
Yeah, prediction looking a little bit better now that Froyotech is turning things around, and we will go into
Immediate ready up.
Oh yeah, that's
They're
a
ready to
very
play.
very fast ready up. I was gonna go take a look at logs, but
I mean, GCI isn't ready, but Froyotech is like, we don't need to change anything. We don't need to talk. Let's go.
yeah,
Let's play.
Froyotech wants to clean things up right now.
They
And
have the
I can't
momentum.
blame them.
Yeah, everything's in their favor right now, and they're very confident about what they're doing, and they don't feel like they need to change anything. Looking at the logs, things are starting to swing back in terms of their favor. Last time we saw the kills go on the side of GlobalClan Ice, but now the script has been flipped, and Froyotech taking the lead. Slemnish making sure that bot mode's, like, what? He went like 28 and something, or 20 and something? Is not a repeat performance. Actually, it looks like they did the strat where Alex did great last time. Fine, let him do great. He's getting tanked. Let's kill the person that's not getting healed. Bot mode's heals is about the same, but this time he's probably shot a little bit more, not able to do a whole lot, and it seems like their change in playstyle was enough to make sure they were in the lead this time, and also probably let Habib do a whole lot more. We have a lot of players breaking 300 DPM on the side of Froyotech, which was not the story last time. So ultimately, the logs are telling the story of how Froyotech have decided to adapt. The question is what will GCI do in return?
Yeah, Slem went huge that round. I believe going 17-1. That is just absolutely insane from him. Definitely turning things around and making Froyotech, take the lead here. I'm curious to see what GCI is going to do to try to regain momentum and match point situation, as you've mentioned. So they cannot really be affording to make mistakes in this next fight.
Yep, I think they know at this point what they kind of need to fix, but it goes back to, once again, you got a couple of different ways to fix it. Do you change your heal spread, or do you just make the people that were their targets play a little bit further back? You got some options ahead of you, and the question is, what do you think will be the thing to lead you to victory? The heal spreads look pretty much the same. Actually, that's not true. Looking at Skis, last time he tanked the hell out of Slum, and this time it's a little bit more even. Habib taking the lead just by 1%, which, is enough considering last time Slam got like, what, 30-ish, a little bit under 30, so definitely a little bit of a playstyle change in terms of who are the priority players to get healed, so good job from Skis being able to adjust, and Skis adjusting himself allowed the medic deaths to actually swing in the favor of him. Last time I think it was like 3 in favor of 4-4, and now Skis is actually 2 less, so that will definitely play into a factor when it comes to making sure they're able to do well in the second half. So props to him. But the question is that we always say is what will happen in the third half. These teams have plenty of time to go ahead and talk about what they want to change. Froyotech decided that we don't need to change anything really. We're going to ready up immediate. GCI on the other hand, they're on the back foot. They know this is a match point. They have 2 rounds to go, making sure that Froyotech get neither of them to make sure that they come away with this win and it is not a repeat of last time. So gonna have to see what they do to alter their playstyle to make sure things go in their favor.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking for the soldiers of GCI to turn things around and really get in the face of skis, find those early bombs, be very coordinated on those bombs. You know, can't be losing 2 people early or one person too early in a bomb, anything of that sort. Gotta be connected and really find those kills and get that damage in together.
Yep, also definitely to make sure that however it's done, whether it's bot mode doing something on an individual basis or whether it's a team doing something in conjunction, they have to find a way to let bot mode play the game. He was allowed to play the game in the first half, was not allowed to play the game in the second half at all, pretty much. So going live now in this third half, it is match point. Froyotech only need 1 more round to win. GCI need 2, and whoever comes on top at mid could be a pretty good lead into the round that could net them this first round and maybe even victory if it's Froyotech.
Yeah.
Not so much if it's GCI, but Godfather, let's go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, here we go, coming in onto the 6th mid, 3-2 in favor of Froyotech right now. And a tough situation for GCI to work with. We're going to see bot mode taking some early high ground, as I've mentioned before. Pretty standard stuff. Froyotech's going to be pretty aggressive here. I think they're winning the spam war a little bit, except Banny's fairly low, as is Habib, who got very low, down to about 70 health. 4-4 doing a good job so far, staying alive, as is Skis. Even Uber's Brandslam's going to be the first death, though, taken out by Slem on the side. There goes bot mode on a Banny bomb, and Laz is going to follow suit. Eric finding that kill, and Ash goes down as well. Alex very low. 4-4's going to get chased down here by Alex and others. We'll see if he's able to live. Banny trying to chase, but they're barely going to escape. 4-4 getting back into spawn with his Uber. Very lucky for GCI to not have to expend that Uber.
Oh, Habib! Oh my, that was almost disastrous. He was left alone, almost died to the scout that he killed bot mode, but lives with 7 HP. That could have been disastrous for them. So, the demo will be alive for the Uber Godfather. It should be interesting to see how they take this approach.
Yeah, recontest now coming in for GCI, both teams with full Uber. I'm expecting an early GCI use, but Blaze with this high ground right now, it's going to be tough to contest. Fairly slow right now, and here comes the Uber. Brandslam and 404 pretty much alone right now. The Uber's going to be popped out on the other side. Botmo trying to get behind. He's going to find Blaze. And not much else right now. Maybe an Ash Bomb coming in. Getting Banny fairly low. He's not going to be followed up by anything. Botmo behind right now. Laz now looking for anything he can. They get Habib. It's Ash on that bomb. He goes down to Laz. A huge cleanup there. And it will be a cap coming in. 2:14 on the clock for Froyotech. No medic. About a 40, maybe 50% ad coming up for the side of 404 and GCI.
I swear, like, I don't even care what Laz's stats looks like. Every time I'm on his cam, he's hitting some stupid rocket that just nets him the perfect kills. His aim is on point right now, and it's definitely what GCI needs to make sure they maintain control of this point. Froyotech trying to work their way into this dry fight, have to make sure they do something before Froyotech's, or GCI's Uber actually comes into play. Only a little bit left to go until they actually have it to actually stop Froyotech from taking this point. Eric trying to take point and apply some pressure on Ash. Follow up from Banny off the distraction, able to kill Ash, and he will end up behind, which is a good play to make sure the flank is distracted. Trying to apply extra pressure onto the combo while he's making the distraction. Not able to really find anything though, or force the Uber Blaze will actually get shut down. Not able to find the sack. So ultimately, it's a good start of the play. The distraction wasn't quite enough to lend them anything long term. I guess the only thing they do have is that Ash will not be here quite yet. He has to roll out when Froyotech pulls the trigger for this upcoming Uber exchange, but it's an Uber exchange. They don't need him too well. Actually, he's already here. He's just gonna be missing a buff, so it's not gonna be too crazy for GCI to hold this.
Yeah, and here comes the Uber. It's going to be onto Banny and Slum right now, just trying to bot in. Oh, Brent Slim finding a flash at the last second from 4-4, keeping it alive. Great heads-up play by him. Not finding a lot in the Uber here. Laz is going to get some spam onto Beep, not finding a lot, though. He will go down in the air, taken out by Sluminish right now. 4-4 is getting very low, and he will go down. That's Eric finding the kill. That's going to be big for the side of Froyotech. Banny down to 5 health right now. Don't think anybody's going to be able to clean him up as Cap's going to start coming in. Oh, Astrat to recontest, but Habib at the traps and absolutely deletes him. Brandslam and Alex, the only ones alive. They'll be out to spawn as 1:23 on the clock for GCI, but for Froyotech with an Uber advantage and the point.
Yep, very good post-Uber play and making sure they're able to continually, they keep pushing this left side over onto the slope for these post-Ubers, and it's netting them the point most of the time they do it, but don't have Eric quite yet, so GCI are playing very fast to make sure they get a lot of presence before he's able to actually do anything. He's getting very weak with Laz as well, trying to apply extra pressure, getting on the side. Habib will fall, no dome, and Alex is raining damage, piping his skis, have to be very careful, but the Uber will get finally popped off, have to run away as fast as you can to make sure you don't die. No soldier bomb quite ready for this Uber, was not expected, so there will be no collapse onto the side of GCI. Froyotech will have to go ahead and back up. Bot mode just sneaks his way out, chased out, slippery as a snake, and Eric will die in turn. That is not the scout I expected to see die, but I'm sure GCI is definitely happy with that. They got a pick, they have full Uber ad, and they're ready to hold this point.
Bot mode is just so slippery. That's like, I don't even have words to describe. He should not have gotten out of that by any means, and instead, Eric is the kill that we see. Very great job there by bot mode. Now,
Skis is piped.
Oh yeah, Sneeze did eat a pipe there. Did not even see how the ankle was found. He's going to back out, get the health kit and rotate around. Benny tries to jump in, not finding a lot. He will go down to bot mode. Now Blaze is looking for anything. Frags are in favor of GCI, but the damage is not looking great, or the health not looking great for GCI. Bot mode does go down now. Blaze taking a little bit of spam, sitting on top, and he's going to eat a pipe from Alex. Going down now. Even numbers, or one soldier down from the side of Froyo, though. It's going to be tough to spam this out. And Brandslam going to get healed up here as well. We're going to see maybe a refight coming in, both meds with full Uber. Looking for Froyotech to pop in here early. It looks like they want to come in, and we're going to see walking across point. It is going to be onto Slemish, waiting to pop onto Alex. Is 4-4, and he will finally pop. Not even flashing Brandslam yet. Great cap, or no cap time for Froyotech right now. Finally getting someone onto point. 4-4 is going to go down, actually, to Habib, as frags are going in favor of Froyotech. Cap time's going to start coming in, as Alex is the only one alive. He's going to be sacking in, trying to find Blaze, if anything, and he does get Blaze before dying. Overtime situation for GCI, absolutely worth to get that last-minute kill.
Yep, now you have to delay your cap to make sure that you give Blaze up, and now that will just let the rest of GCI spawn. Alex's spawn will probably get, like, look, it's 4 seconds. It didn't even matter that he died, and, like, it's only going to delay by a little bit. So now they have a decent chance to actually refight here, while the rest of Froyotech is not quite there yet. Gonna be a little bit rough because they are here in time, so now they have an opportunity for them to do their own thing, while Alex is not quite here. Ultimately, it doesn't look like either team's gonna do anything too crazy. They know that this is a very high, tense situation. GCI are very close to round, and Froyotech only need one to win this, so definitely playing this a little bit slow pace, so you're gonna get a little bit weak, but it's gonna be Froyotech going against the left side. It's left side once again. Eric clutching the kill on Ash. An air shot goes out and will ring the death of Blaze, so far 1-for-1 trade, but we do have Eric behind on the back line, trying to go for a play and do some sort of pinch play.
He's gonna get
will die to it, which is a very nice play. Eric is definitely solidifying Froyotech's holding of this point pretty much solo. Did that with almost no help except for very slight distraction, and this is gonna be a very good play for them at the end of the day. They have this Uber to work with, even though even though GCI will get their Uber of their own. Down Laz, so no soldier able to go behind, and they just have to wait and let the clock ring down for Froyotech on side, as GCI will go ahead and begin to go across the point with his Uber.
Yeah, it's going to be onto the scout, looking for Benny, not finding anything, though, as Skis did pop out on the other side. We're going to see Blaze up in the skybox. He won't crater this time, although a scout going to go in to find Slemish. Botmode will die for it. However, on the other side of things, Ash is going to get taken out by Eric as well. A lot of spam going in favor of Froyotech as there comes a Botmode to 4-4. They're able to find him, and he does! Blaze gets that kill. He will die in turn, but looking very good for Froyotech, and this is now or never for the side of GCI. They have to get onto point, and they have to hold this, but it doesn't look like they will, and that will be a game over. Froyotech taking this, and 4-2 was the score, I believe.
Yeah, but very close game. 4-2, 2 overtimes. Pretty good job from Froyotech, making sure that things are close, but not as close as last time. Ultimately came up on top and took what they learned from the previous weeks and the beginnings of this match, the first half, to make sure they adapted well enough to reign supreme ultimately for this match and realistically solidify their first seed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna, as you said, just stabilize the rankings right now. But good thing for GCI is the only 2 losses they've had have been close ones to Froyotech, so they won't be dropping down in the standings. You can take a quick look at logs here, but what do you think turned that in the favor of Froyotech in the end?
kind of feel like, at least for stats, it's going to look very, very similar to what we saw in the second half. But while waiting for that, we do have Habib in here and Banny as well for a potential interview after their victory. Hello, guys. Good job on your win.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Thank you.
So, clear cut once again, huh? A little bit of deja vu?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't think they would pick it, but they fucking picked it, man. We're like, all right, we can leave clear cut in. There's no way they're gonna pick it again, and then they pick it again, and they'll probably pick it again in playoffs.
Yeah, well, I guess if it's their strong suit, it's not too surprising. But ultimately, you guys adapted well enough to be able to make it close, but still also do a little bit better than last time. A little bit of a gap of 2 points instead of 1 previously. Let's talk about performances. We noticed that there was a big adjustment when it came to the first half to the second half and the way that you guys are playing. Can you talk a little bit about what you guys decided to do to adjust?
Yeah, let's just say I was like 5-16 or something in the first half. Just
Yeah.
feeling out the enemy team, then I realized I'm like, all right, bet. So the more I try to do, the more I'm gonna get blasted. So I'm just not gonna do anything, and then they just all fed and died.
That's
Literally.
essentially what it was. Both me and Habib were dying a lot the first half, so we tried to just slow down the deaths. Take the fights a bit more carefully, focus fires, all that kind of stuff, and position better. Oh, am I lagging, by the way? I might need to reset.
A little, like, you're understandable, but there is like
Okay.
a small amount of roboting.
Yeah, I'll fix it. But essentially, that
Transformers?
was the difference. Was just getting those deaths a bit under control.
Definitely helps when Slem goes like, I'm pretty sure his stats overall are gonna look like 60 and like 10 or something
Yeah,
like that.
he went 41 and 10. That's that hashtag birthday boost.
Oh, no wonder. That
Yeah,
explains
there you
everything,
go.
man.
That's 75 accuracy. That's that birthday power.
So early on, Skis was dying a little bit more than 404, but at the end of the day, it was even in deaths, and it was really the soldiers getting in. How did you guys adapt to those soldier bombs coming in and keep things keeping your medic alive there?
Well, it was actually a really weird game of clear cut, if you ask me. Usually on clear cut, soldiers are going behind constantly, but tonight that wasn't really the case. Instead, it was more of like they would all in maybe on mid, and then they would find good timings to just all in if they had time on they had the round time advantage, or if their medic was just spawning. So they caught us with that a few times. That was another thing we had to adjust to. But in general, I wouldn't say that like we were getting, a lot of flanks on us or on them either. To be honest, it was very much a spam war, but they did a good job of finding openings to commit onto our med.
Yeah, and I think.
But that being said, Skis also, survived several of them.
He had
so
some
props to him.
clutch holds. Like it was literally the Secret Service, and then third round he had 2 clutch holds versus 4 people jumping into him.
I saw a couple of those
crazy.
that are pretty good.
Mr. President.
So a bit late into the season to be asking this, but how has the swap onto Soldier affected the calling structure and everything that happens within the Froyotech team during matches, Benny?
Well, it's different because as a scout, you really have the perspective on everything. You can see everything. You can poke around. You can take the Ubers. It's just a much more powerful position to main call from. But that being said, I'm still trying to main call as best I can. It's just sometimes it's like I have to just make the call and trust that they'll execute. Slam, Habib, whatever. But a lot of it is also just trying to slow it down a bit, because I want to be in a position to call as much as I can and be involved in as many of the pushes as I can. So sometimes that does require us to slow down just a little bit so that I can have the main calling, actively in the fights.
Well, looking forward to the rest of the season. So far, you've already beat the second seed twice, and you've already had a match and beaten the third seed. And when it comes to getting ready for playoffs, do you guys have any goals that you're trying to look towards when it comes to ending the regular season, or do you think that this is kind of just like writing out the rest of the matches because the matches are kind of matchups might be a little bit more lopsided for a big chunk of them?
Right. We're still gonna prepare and practice. We're not expecting, to just coast ever, because we've had close matches. We've lost rounds to a lot of teams, Rebirth and Crunch, and every team
we only coast in off season.
Yeah, well, even then, there's probably going to be some off-season tournament, so we never get to rest. But I don't know if you noticed, I made a statement about this, but we've actually played every single map this season, so we really make the regular season a a practice for playoffs. We really want to get as much experience against all the teams on different maps. So that's really what we're going for at the moment. Once it gets to playoffs, we'll be maybe a bit more strategic about our map choices against certain teams. But sometimes we would just let maps go through in the regular season that normally we wouldn't want to land on for playoffs for one reason or another, just because we want that extra challenge to keep us, focused.
It's a very smart move, and we'll have to see if it pays off for your playoff run, because you are definitely realistically solidified for first seed and definitely solidified for playoffs. So hats off to you guys. Before we wrap this up, do you have any last minute shout outs you want to say?
Well, shout out to RGL for not only hosting the league and the match. We have a great season of Invite at the moment, but also for running the production. So you guys on the cast, doing a good job. Lots of people tuned in, so shout out to all the viewers, and shout out to everyone out there in the community that is, just being a true competitor, wholesome, sportsmanship, all that good stuff. That's what it's all about. We don't need any distractions with edginess or whatever. So just keep your eyes on the improvement and stay true.
Anything, Abib?
Yeah, shout outs to you guys on the casting and production. Shout outs to the viewers. Shout outs to GlobalClan Ice Good Games. Shout outs to the viewers. I don't know if I already said that, but and yeah, happy birthday, Slumnish.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Anything from you, Godfather?
Yeah, of course. Shout out to you, Jarrett and Dolphin, on production as well. And everybody, make sure to go check out the RGL YouTube channel. A lot of great content being put out there, including VODs and highlight videos, and a new series called The Dispatch, covering all sorts of league news. So be sure to go check that out. I think !YouTube in chat will do that for you. But that's it from me. Jarrett, what about you?
Pretty much reiterating everything that everyone has said, and thank you guys for playing, all the viewers for watching, Dolphin and Godfather for helping with casting and production. But ultimately, that's going to be it for us for the most part. Not really much for us to go on with, much more than we already have. So thank all of you for watching and continuing to also watch this interview. But that's going to be it for us, and we will see you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace.